Marc Fisher is a Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter and senior editor at Washington Post. Marc, thank you so much for joining us. So, the question of the day, how will the media treat President Biden? And let's take a look back at how they treated President Trump. Remember, it was a bit of a hostile relationship. It seems a little different going forward, is it? Will it be?
Well, remains to be seen. What we're expecting, of course, is that President Biden will bring back the kind of relationship that existed pre-Trump, which was wary and distanced, but nonetheless, there was a commitment from previous administrations to provide accurate information on a timely basis. That vanished during the Trump administration and was brought back tonight by the new administration. This has nothing to do with party or ideology. Every administration prior to Trump provided a believable and truth-telling press operation that provided the American people with daily briefings, an opportunity for people to ask questions. The Trump administration did not do that. And so there was a kind of standoff between many reporters and news organizations and President Trump. So I think we're heading back to a more normal relationship, but that normal relationship is always a fractious one and should be a fractious one. And just as Barack Obama came to have strongly negative feelings toward his press corps, I think Biden inevitably will too, because our job is to be critical. It's our job to find what's been done wrong. The story of something going smoothly is mildly interesting, but much more important to the voters and to anyone in a democracy is to know what's gone wrong and why and how we can fix it.
So, Marc, I was in Fox before I came to Sinclair. President Trump gave us 7 interviews here, once at Fox. President Obama went on in 8 years, went on Fox when I was there, maybe once or twice. That's about it. Trump never went on CNN or MSNBC. If I'm CNN for sure. Will Joe Biden reach across and maybe come on this show, go on Fox? I'm guessing maybe not OAN or Newsmax, but will he be different?
I would imagine he probably will. I can't guarantee that he'll come on the show, but I certainly imagine that they will be eager to reach across the aisle. They're eager to reach as many factions in the country as possible. And we saw that in the early days of really every administration except the Trump administration. And then sometimes things go smoothly, sometimes things go sour. But the important thing to realize is that we are a deeply divided country, deeply divided in where we get our news from, deeply divided in how we look at the world. And anything this administration understands, and Biden said in his inaugural address today, that the only way he succeeds is if he manages to break through that and unite people in some fashion. Well, you can only unite people by talking directly to them. Probably the biggest mistake Donald Trump made was he never reached out beyond his base. There were large portions of the electorate that were probably open to some of his messages, certainly some of his policies, and yet he never reached out to them. Joe Biden has made a career out of driving people toward the center. Now, people on both extremes are not going to like that. But the vast majority of the public in this country is moderate in tone, moderate in ideas, and they chose Joe Biden for that reason. They're looking for stability, they're looking for security, and they're looking for someone who is interested in finding consensus, which had been kind of out of style recently.
I don't mean to cut you off. I only have about a minute, so be very concise if you don't mind. Twitter pulled a story that New York Post exposed of Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden. They pulled the Twitter account of the New York Post. Was that a mistake in hindsight? And do you think going forward, Biden will be held at the same level of scrutiny that President Trump was by the New York Times or your publication, the Washington Post?
I certainly think we'll have every bit as much scrutiny on Joe Biden as we did on Donald Trump or any of his predecessors. You have to remember, ours is the news organization that broke the story of the Clinton emails and of the Clinton Foundation spending. So we're as aggressive with Democratic administrations as we are with Republican. That's our job. That's why we want to be reporters. We want to find out what's gone wrong and why. But as far as Twitter goes, look, the social media companies are out of control. Social media companies have been given permission by successive governments to operate without any responsibility for their content. It's time that they be reined in. Obviously, that's what the American people want. And we'll see if either party has the courage to do that against these enormously powerful and wealthy corporations.
All right, Marc Fisher, always great having Washington Post on. Really a pleasure hosting you as well, Marc Fisher. Thank you.
Thank you.